Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another narration commentary video from OverbyteGaming. Another disembodied voice while we talk about stuff. But for this one, it's a bit of a change. I want you guys to get involved in this one. Really, I do. I want to get into a discussion with you guys because this is something that I could talk about for hours, but I'm going to try and squeeze it into a small amount of time. And that is a big general question and discussion about the video games industry. Now, when you think of the word industry, it does kind of give you a kind of a feel of big factories, Victorian era, you know, just pumping out things for low cost, maximum profit, that kind of thing. But what's actually happening is that we've moved away from a business to an industry. And what happens there is that you have big companies making money off video games. It's become a way to manufacture profit. And if you want those big AAA games, you're going to have an army of people to do it, because there is a lot of expectation on games now, especially with franchises that people have got really familiar with, that games have become, you know, so photorealistic or all-encompassing that people expect stuff to happen. It's less like they're amazed at what a game can do. And just look at No Man's Sky last year, 2 years ago. I can't even remember when it bloody well came out. I think it was last year. But that game, it gave you the feeling that this game could be an entire universe with unlimited potential, a game you could play exactly how you wanted to play it, and we lapped that up. We didn't even question it. We were like, oh, that's ambitious, but we didn't say, you're fucking kidding me, you'll never be able to do that. And the truth was, they couldn't, because they completely fluffed that up, didn't they? I mean, at the end of the day, we got really angry because they didn't give us an entire functioning universe in a video game. That's fucking weird. Why would we even think that's possible? I'll tell you why. It's because we got so used to the big, flashy, spectacle-ridden games where we just expect to be entertained like that, and because we're paying money. And when you start to have money in exchange for entertainment, I think it generally goes a bit poo. I mean, you get the great, amazing event, the epicness, the spectacle of something, but at the ground roots level, it's not going to fix something that's crap already. So I don't know where my brain is going with this. So please let me know down in the comments what you think of the current video games industry. Now, I love video games, always have, but I'm in that kind of age group. I'm in my late 30s. I've seen games grow from the Spectrum days, from the 8-bit and before era, of how things have changed, how things have grown, how things have become the zeitgeist of video games at that time, and moved on. So games back in the day, like School Days on the Spectrum, or even like Space Invaders on the old like Atari 2600 style of consoles, when things were much simpler. You bought a game and you had the game. And now, I mean, from a recent video that I did see from Jim Sterling, I'm talking about how $60 now is the payment for access to a game, and then the cost of the game actually expands if you want all the rest of the content that's been made for that game, which is phenomenal. It's like, it's happened and I didn't even realise it. In a way, you think you're going to be spending something on a product, you get that, but then they started to introduce special editions and microtransactions and DLC, which everyone said was like disc locked content. Then it became downloadable content because they didn't like the term locked. It was a bit negative. But we've seen it many times where that content has been on the disc already. It's been made before the date of release, but they want you to pay extra for it. I don't understand how that's a good idea for the consumer. I mean, for the company, yeah, it's great because you change a $60 game into a $200 game. And I'm one of those schmucks that buys special editions when I like the look of them. So, you know, I'm speaking from a completely abused consumer, but I do like special editions. And the companies that do the special editions are the big companies because they want to make the fucking money. So, what could we do to fix this? I want to know what your thoughts are. Remember, let me know down in the comments. But perhaps we need some sort of regulation to avoid the pitfalls that we've had in the previous couple of years of mega hyped games, snake oil salesmen, and then at the end of the day you end up with something that isn't what was advertised, or didn't perform as well as you'd expect it to be. As a basic standard of functionality, it didn't work. And I think we need something to prevent that, and it needs to be encompassing from right at the top down to the bottom. But that won't happen. I'll tell you why. Because the big companies don't want to make less money, because that's a silly thing to do when you're in business, to make less money than you could do without those restrictions. But to make a AAA game, you need the money. So we have put all of ourselves into a strange position now, where the games themselves are these big spectacle events, and we've got used to it. We've had a taste, and now we want that every time. We're like video game junkies. The whole populace. I mean, it's no longer a niche thing to do to play video games. It's permeated into our mobile phones. It's permeated into our lives, our discussions, our friends, our social interactions, everything. Video games, for a lot of people, are the way that they make sense of the world, the way they relax, the way they escape the world, the way they meet up with friends and make a new world. It doesn't matter, but these video games are a huge thing to us now. And to suddenly take it all away would be ridiculous, and it would be a death to a number of elements of business in all of our individual countries, as well as, you know, the people that are making the games for their jobs, the product that gets spent on, you know, buying the games to go back into the coffers for the companies that might do some good in charitable things, but that's a very small amount, let's be honest. But let's remember that industry does give you that feeling that it's all about pumping stuff out. Just look at Call of Duty. Happens every year or so. There's a new event. It's a new thing, but it's generally the same game with a few tweaks. I could be wrong, let me know. But certainly sports games, let's just put a new roster of characters in, graphics a little bit better, maybe a new feature here and there, but at the end of the day, you're still playing FIFA. You're still playing NHL. It doesn't change, and it's just pumping out the same thing, and you're paying money because you want to have the new one. It's the throwaway culture that we have today. When I was a lad, we didn't throw things away. And move up north. I'm not northern. But let's not forget, all of these big companies, they have a duty, because of the way they've set up themselves, to make money for their shareholders. Now, this is getting a little bit adult for you guys that might not be into shares and savings and all that stuff, but it's really important to know that the companies making these products for you, they're making these games, making these experiences, they are making money off you for it. They're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They might have, one of the directors of the creative side of things might have a vision, and they have that vision made into a game, but if it doesn't make money, then it gets canned. They won't do it if it doesn't make money. It's as simple as that. Any business not making money is not a business. It's a wasness. That didn't really work. But you know what I mean. Businesses need to be there making money. If they don't, they have to go. We had a story last week that Visceral Games, a studio that was responsible for the Dead Space series, was bought by EA, and it was shut down last week. If you look at what they did to Dead Space, I was never a massive fan of Dead Space, but what happened there is that you had a company that had a franchise. When they were taken over by EA said, right, can you just put in some microtransactions there and make it a bit more profitable? Yeah, good, great, that's great, cheers, thanks, bye. And then it flopped because nobody wanted that in the game and didn't need it. But what happens? Then EA turn around and say, well, sitting down and reviewing your last year's progress, Visceral, it seems that you've been a bit shit and not made us enough money. So, sorry, gonna have to shut you down. And yeah, they did. They shut them down. A very good studio. So you're not really safe with your big corporate overlords, because all they want is profit. They don't care about the message that you'd be sending out as a game studio, the kind of impact you could have on impressionable young minds with an amazing game, teaching them something of a moral variety or something like that. No, money. That's all it is. Just fucking money. Give me your fucking money. Fuck you, pay me. That's it. So just keep that in mind. When you see people talking about the video game industry, just remember they're talking about the money machine behind the industry. And that goes down to microtransactions, pay to win, freemium models of mobile games making their way into AAAs. The whole thing that we've got AAAs, the amount of money spent on marketing and hype just to make a game look amazing when in fact it ends up being a shell but they've got your money at that point, and that's why I think we need some sort of regulation, something to say, give the video game companies a business plan thing to say this game will do X, Y, and Z, and if it doesn't do that, then they're not allowed to sell it. It needs to go through a panel. It might add some delay, but to me, I'd much rather wait for a product to be good than to be sold something that's just not up to scratch at all. And before I go on ranting for about an hour about this stuff, please let me know what you think down in the comments. Please like the video, and if you are new to the channel, hello, please subscribe, because it helps us out a great deal. I'm really loving the comments and thoughts from you guys on our previous videos last few weeks. It's been really cool to see the interaction, and I want it to continue. This is a discussion video, so please let me know your thoughts on the video game industry in general. I mean, is there a game you think cast aside unfairly just because of like corporate interests, or was there something that you think is a practice that should just be done away with? Do you agree with me on regulation of sorts, and if so, how? I'd really love to hear your views on this, guys, because it's something that's close to my heart. I love video games, I've grown up with them, and I don't want to see them become this empty shell that happens to most entertainment industries when they get big in the capitalist society. But basically, you look at film, you look at music. Back in the days, you made that particular medium because you enjoyed it, because it brought joy to other people, because you were good at it, because you could express yourself. And then now look at the summer blockbuster films, which are vapid and just completely empty of anything apart from whoosh, bang and pop, Michael Bay Transformer type films. There's a place for them, but I'm just saying that's not everything. So maybe we just have to reassess and refocus ourselves. I don't know. But that's all from me today. Thanks for listening. Really appreciate you getting this far in the video of just a man ranting into a microphone with no face. But guys, if you do like to see more videos from Overbyte Gaming, we have videos coming out every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. So check back then, I suppose. And if you do feel like subscribing, click the old ding-a-ling bell icon and you can not miss another video from my channel. It'd be great. But guys, that's all for me, and I shall see you next week. No, I won't see you next week. I'll see you on Thursday, because I'm recording this in advance. Well, that didn't work out very well, so not very seamless. But guys, I'll see you again soon. Take care. Okay, love you. Bye-bye. I'm not going to survive. Yep, impaled. The death scenes are pretty special in this game, I have to say. They are amazing. No. I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. Come on. Take him out. Take him out. Yes. Bang on yellow belt. You can't get better than that, ladies and gentlemen. This is awesome. Why is it that when people are watching